Hi everybody, welcome to Coach and Business and this episode concerning the topic of satisfaction and engagement as scientific concept, as scientific work concepts. Why am I doing basically this episode? Why have I written a blog post concerning satisfaction and engagement? Because there is a misconception going on when it comes to satisfaction and engagement, when it comes to both. Um, Many people think that satisfaction and engagement do come from salary, do come from social bond and possibilities of development. At some points it might be true, at some points it might be false. We will get into that and what this means. Um, People think, on the other hand, that engagement is connected to satisfaction. So that engagement is kind of a willingness to go the extra mile. Many times in job application offers, there is written that you are willing to go the extra mile. So people think that engagement is shown, or people show their engagement for the company, for the tasks which should be conducted by the willingness to go the extra mile. Why are such concepts as engagement and satisfaction important? Well, because both are pretty crucial in judging yourself as an employee, as an employer, and are pretty much the most important concepts when um, judging employees from a employer perspective. So if you are the chef, what you look at is you look at the engagement, you look at the potential, you look at the satisfaction which your employees have, in order to determine whether they should get, for example, a raise. So understanding both concepts, satisfaction and engagement, in a proper way would mean that you will make proper decisions when it comes to your employees, that you will make proper decisions as an employee when it comes to your overall situation, for example, at work. What is the issue here if we have ill-defined concepts? Well, we will get reverse effects. So, for example, just to give you a sneak peek, if you build satisfaction, you might lose engagement, and which might lead to your employees not being as intrinsically motivated as possible to conduct tasks in a proper way. Often salary increases are supposed to increase both engagement and satisfaction, and this sounds as not the best idea. It sounds as a pretty short-term strategy, hoping that salary increases will increase engagement and satisfaction. Well, let's take a look first what engagement is and what satisfaction is before we go into questions of what it scientifically means and how we can introduce programs which will impact both engagement and satisfaction. Well, what is engagement? Engagement is kind of the identification with work. So basically, this is the first concept of engagement, and the identification with work depends on the individual attributes, for example, age. It depends on work circumstances, like the need for development, your own need for development, and depends on social factors like the work and decision-making capabilities that you as an employee have. As a second option, engagement is defined as involvement, with involvement energizing people and leading to action taking. Involvement leads to work fulfillment, to professional fulfillment. In an extreme way, might lead to professional burnout. So, first concept is identification with work, depending on individual and circumstantial factors. Second definition is engagement as involvement, which is kind of an energization of people and leading to action taking, to professional fulfillment, and in an extreme way, it might lead to professional burnout. It might be understood as a kind of positive cognitive perception of work and cognitive learning towards long-term fulfillment. So engagement might be a cognitive concept, a positive cognitive concept towards work. such a cognitive positive concept of engagement involves vigor, which is kind of again high energy, which is dedication, which is kind of sensefulness based on work, and absorption, which is kind of the forgetting, the feeling of forgetting the world around. So we have high energy, sensefulness based on work, and the feeling of forgetting the world around us. So we have three conceptions: identification with work, engagement as involvement, and positive cognitive perception of work. What is satisfaction then? Well, satisfaction is a set of attitudes and feelings towards work. Basically, the feeling of liking or disliking work. In previous times, formally, it was defined as a kind of measure of satisfied physical and psychological needs, basically, deeper needs. Recently, so up to date, it is the outcome of more superior cognitive processes. So work is perceived as emotional, positive, and pleasant. We have sub-concepts with satisfaction too, with three main concepts which impact satisfaction. So we have the affective component, which is kind of the emotional, feelings-based evaluation of work. We have the cognitive component, which is more the rational belief about work situations, and we have behavioral component, which is the tendency to display certain behaviors towards work. For example, being accurate in timings, being accurate in task solving. So what we have is a satisfaction as a set of attitudes and feelings towards work, with sub-concepts being affective, being emotional, cognitive being rational, and behavioral being more a showing behavioral patterns towards work. Question is, what does science say about satisfaction as well as engagement, and how do they interact with each other? Well, engagement as a motivational construct, as it energizes people, as it provides, let's say, the right positive perception of work to do something in and for work, leads to enthusiasm, energization, mobilization. Satisfaction, on the other hand, is a positive reactive task state. So with engagement being a motivational construct and satisfaction being a more reactive construct, satisfaction leads to higher satisfaction indeed, and to comfort, with comfort being and leading to less mobilization and engagement. So here we have some kind of difficulty. If we have a satisfaction level which is too high, it might lead to less mobilization, to less engagement. So we have always to be and to take care of the right balance between engagement and satisfaction. Basically, science have found out that both concepts impact each other. So it's not like engagement does impact only satisfaction, or as the common belief is satisfaction impacts engagement, which is pretty much not true when said solely. So people are more willing to devote more time for work when they are more engaged. They perceive their satisfaction as higher when they are more engaged. One can increase or the, let's say, the program, the mechanism should always be to increase engagement, and increasing engagement will then lead to increasing and maintaining satisfaction. Kind of a very interesting finding of scientific research concerning motivation, concerning satisfaction and engagement, is that employees who are unsatisfied with benefits and salary were not less satisfied in general. So employees who were extrinsic motivators such as benefits and salary were introduced, and they were not satisfied with such, were not necessarily less satisfied in general with work, because they might have mechanisms which increased engagement, so increased intrinsic motivational structures. For example, by giving the possibility to participate in decision-making processes, by participating in successes of the company, by being autonomous when it comes to decision-making. So basically, what is important is to talk about growth potential, about involvement and engagement in decision-making, about supervision and mentoring programs, as well as transparency in decision-making. So those are the basic aspects which should help in increasing engagement, by engagement increasing satisfaction and maintaining satisfaction at a level which is healthy. So let's take a look at how you can create an environment which will lead to higher engagement and higher satisfaction, which is not only based on salary and benefit introduction. Well, first of all, create transparent policies and processes. So every employee should have insights into what is going on, how things are decided, how things are processed within the company, as it connects the employee directly to the employer, as the work then has a direct connection to the outcomes of the whole company. Second point is to create an environment of support. So every employee needs the feeling of being supported, but at the same time not having the feeling of being controlled by anybody. So there should be some rule like as much support as necessary, when necessary, at the same time as little control as possible. This is kind of a thumb rule which should help in increasing engagement of the employee. Create a view which allows development and goal pursuing. So employees should have the possibility to pursue their own goals as well as their company goals. So it's not only to pursue company goals, but by giving employees the possibility to pursue and achieve own goals, company goals will become more attractive to employees and engagement will increase. Create a system where every employee decides. So this is like one of the most important things, participation in decision-making processes. It involves increasing capabilities, resources, and increasing the access to decision-making situations. At the other end, it will increase the learning curve, for example, if employees might participate in decision-making processes. In this case, a good rule might be that an effective leader is the one who makes followers think that they achieved something by themselves. So giving employees the possibility to decide by their own and try and find solutions by their own will lead to the employees thinking and being sure that they have achieved it by themselves, which on the other hand will increase engagement in long run. Create salary and benefits program that is not predictable but transparent. So in another video I talked about intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, that extrinsic motivators, if provided conditionally, do have negative impact on intrinsic motivation, and if provided as an information source, they will have positive impact on intrinsic motivation and on performance. So what we have to do is to create an environment where salary, benefits, rewards are provided, but unconditionally, and not as a controlling element, not as a controlling mechanism, but as a mechanism which should inform you how you have done it in a good way, why you have done it in a good way, how you can increase the quality of your work in the future. And it should be transparent how people can achieve rewards, what kind of basic behavior, what basic rules should be fulfilled to get rewards. You, as a company, should create jobs within your company that include a end-to-end responsibility. So the tasks should be constructed in a way which include that the employees can plan, can build something out of scratch, out of nowhere, then bring it to life, and then gain the get all the rewards which come with a success of the project. So what should happen? You should create tasks which help you to be the responsible one from beginning to end. And what you should do is to create jobs with vertical and horizontal challenges. So vertical challenges means that every employee will learn what it means to work on a higher level, what it means to take part in decision making of higher level employees and of lower level employees. So there will be some insight into further personal development, as well as there should be horizontal challenges. So at some point an employee should be able to learn new stuff actually by getting into areas where he or she is not an expert in, but where she or he has basic knowledge in, and might develop the basic knowledge. So those are some rules, some helpful mechanisms which should help in developing engagement and focusing on engagement, while increasing engagement, then increasing satisfaction in the long run. So it's not the same as just introducing an increased program. Second one is application on private environments. So how can we increase engagement within our relationships and increase satisfaction with our relationships? Basically, try to take over responsibilities and be autonomous. So try to find tasks with high responsibility and try to solve them by your own. This means that you as an employee, you should try to be self-responsible, try to be responsible, and try to be autonomous when solving your tasks. Second point is try to always set higher goals and undertake a more difficult journey, because if you basically, science has shown that with higher goals the performance increases, but in general goals allow you to pursue to go in a certain way, and if you have a goal which is defined by development, then you will develop. So and if you will develop if you will develop yourself, then your engagement will increase. So try to always set higher goals, try to always undertake a new journey, a more difficult journey. Try to not delegate decision making to others. So try to be the one who's responsible for getting to the success, to solving a task, even if it's too hard for you. At some points it might be really too hard for you, so then seek out for support of a coach or of your supervisor, but in all other situations do not try to seek for support. Try to undertake difficult tasks. So with difficult tasks I mean tasks which are a little bit above what you are able to do right now, where you have to learn in order to solve the task. And try to grow in teamwork. So look out for tasks where cooperation scenarios are possible or even necessary to solve a task. So you need to cooperate with your team members in order to solve tasks, because you as a group, you as a team, you as a team member will grow and probably will achieve even higher results as an individual. Therefore, there are some mechanisms which might be introduced into private environment, into private understanding of how to act, as well as into business context where an employee sets the rules. Both aspects, so your own responsibility as an employee, as well as your responsibility as an employer to provide structures, will help in increasing your engagement or the engagement of your employees. And at the end increasing satisfaction, but still maintaining at a healthy level. Well, I'm a coach, I'm a psychologist. If you have questions on how to introduce such programs, on how to build new structures, feel free to contact me via my website, coachandbusiness.com. Ask for support. I will always answer personally. If you find some content about coaching business anywhere in the web, please like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you will find, whatever option you will find. Thank you again for listening. Have a nice day. Have a nice evening. Please have a smile every single day, and see you next time. Thank you very much.